So Tyler Warren has been getting a lot of comparisons to former Colts legend Dallas Clark. Just the way Tyler Warren moves, the way he plays, he just looks like Dallas Clark. He wore 44 as well. It's just kind of like so many comparisons are being drawn to Dallas Clark. It's like, damn, that's some pretty high praise. And Tyler Warren is like a more modern, athletic version of Dallas Clark. Dallas Clark was already one of the more athletic tight ends of his time. A very good receiver, very good blocker. He was a very good all-around tight end. Coming out of Penn State, both coming out of the Big Ten actually. Dallas Clark played with Iowa. Tyler Warren, Penn State. Tyler Warren is 6'6", 257 pounds coming out. Dallas Clark was 6'3", so Tyler Warren is bigger. He's taller, and I think he's a little faster. He's got he's a more modern version of Dallas Clark, which is pretty exciting. He's really good all around. My draw to comparison, you could kind of say it's not really like a straight on comparison, but it's like Jack Doyle. But Tyler Warren is Jack Doyle on steroids. You know what I'm saying? Like he does everything very well, just like Jack Doyle did, but he does all of it better. So that's exciting. We haven't really had that real tight end one, that consistent tight end one, for a couple years since Jack Doyle. Jack Doyle was good at everything. The jack of all trades, Doyle rules, all the fun stuff that came along with him. We haven't really had that since, and that really makes an impact on your running game as well, run blocking. When Jack Doyle was here, our running game was very good, and it's still very good now. But now they're gonna have a tight end that's a little more instinctual, a little bit better, a little more polished coming out of college. I think the running game is going to take another level as well. Whether it's Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones in there, Daniel Jones still has wheels. Some people don't seem to remember or really understand that Daniel Jones does have wheels. He can move as well. But Tyler Warren being named as Dallas Clark 2.0 is pretty exciting. Now, I don't really want to give the kid an unfair comparison or expectation going into the season. I'm just treating it as, look, this is Tyler Warren. This is, it's a one and only. He's not Dallas Clark. He's not Jack Doyle. But yeah, it is fun to talk about past players and make the comparison and draw up those comparisons and have conversations about it. But at the end of the day, it's Tyler Warren. I'm really excited because 6'6". If you look at our entire tight end room, they are massive. Drew Ogletree is huge. I don't think anyone is under 6'5". I think everyone is 6'5" or larger. Mo Cox is very big. We have Jelani Woods is huge, and he's watch of course that happened this year. We finally drafted tight end. Watch Jelani Woods stay healthy now, but then of course we still have Mo Cox and Drew Ogletree. I think our tight end room is pretty stacked, looking pretty good, and I'm excited for this tight end room. I'm excited for whoever's going to be back to our quarterback. They're going to have a guy over the middle of the field, and Tyler Warren. And then of course you have Josh Downs. The receiving, the weapons are there. Almost everything is pretty much there for this offense, for Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson to take off and really just skyrocket. Skyrocket their value, and I think they're going to do it. You know what I mean? I think if Daniel Jones starts, we're going to be looking pretty good. Look at the weapons. You have Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs. I think Josh Downs is our best receiver. You have Alec Pierce, very good deep threat. He's one of the best last year in terms of that. A.D. Mitchell, who I think can have a big jump up this year. And then the slew of tight ends on top of that. You have running backs coming out of the backfield, and just the difference that a tight end makes in an offense as well. Like, you have all these weapons, awesome, but when you look at some of the teams in the NFL that make it to the Super Bowl, that make it to the conference championship, 95% of those teams have a top 5 tight end. Travis Kelce for the Chiefs, Dallas Goedert for the Eagles. The Lions didn't make it to the conference championship, but look at how good they are. Look at how good their offense goes. Look at the Ravens. Look at the Bills. It seems like all of the, even the Commanders, they had, I believe it was Zach Ertz showing out. I could be wrong, but I believe it was Zach Ertz. Whoever it was, they had a really good tight end. He's showing out. It really helps open up the rest of the offense when you have a tight end in the middle of that field creating, separation, really being a serious receiving threat. That just opens everything up for everyone else, and it's better to run the football. Of course, you got bigger bodies out there, better at blocking. They do it more than receivers, on the inline as well. Everywhere. Tyler Warren can go everywhere as well. He could line up in the backfield as a running back, as a fullback. I have an extra blocker back there. The slot. He doesn't have to be just an inline tight end. He could be in the slot. He could play outside receiver. Heck, he threw the football a couple of times at Penn State. And if you go back and watch the presser with Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard, Shane Steichen's like, heck, we might just try this guy out in defense. That's how much he does. You know, you can put a lot on his plate. He's a high character, just feels like a Colts guy, high worker. You know, I really like the interview he had as well. Going to the Colts, watch his interview. They posted, you know, a nice little interview. They're talking to him, asking him some questions, asking about Indy, you know, just all that good stuff. And he's a very high character. It seems like he's going to be a very hard worker, and I love it. Absolutely love it. I love someone who's going to come in, not be necessarily loud, but he's going to be confident. He's going to work hard, put his head down, and do what he needs to do to put this team in the best position possible to succeed, to go someplace. And Tyler Warren's going to do that. And he's also going to help some of the young guys. You know, I think he could help, say, a Jelani Woods develop. I mean, I know Jelani Woods has been in the NFL longer, but maybe he could share some things with him. Maybe Jelani could share some things with Tyler Warren. You know, you never know. There's a lot. You know, it's very exciting. Shane Steichen's a very good play caller. I'm really hoping that it's Daniel Jones and not Anthony Richardson. I think if Daniel Jones starts, I think the Colts are a playoff caliber football team. And then we'll talk about the offense line in another video. I want to talk about them. They're probably going to have a slow start to the season. To see why, stay tuned. Put that post notification bell on. Like, subscribe. Stick around. We got a lot of good things going on around here. I'm excited. We have Just Arrival podcast coming up on Friday or Saturday. I believe it was Friday. Yes, Just Arrival podcast on Friday. Colts fan DJ Abicool and a Texans fan and Aaron, aka Head of the Table. They both go at it, do some pretty good stuff. They have some pretty good work on the network. So yeah, stick around. A lot of good stuff going on. Of course, we just had the draft, so we're gonna go through some of these draft picks. And first up is Tyler Warren. Here we are doing Tyler Warren. I'm gonna get some more videos ready for the other guys. And you know, before we know it, in about 2 weeks here, we have the schedule coming out. We will have content for that. Spring stuff. We have a lot of cool content on its way. I might be getting, you know, a couple of new people on the team and, you know, just some new content, you know, some more content going. Hot Take Tuesday, hoping that's going to make a comeback. So, yeah, I'm not going to bore you too much with all this post-video nonsense, but there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you do all the following, like, subscribe, post notification bell on. Great place to be. Go follow the socials, X, Insta. If you just look up JDW Sports Network in any form or capacity, all the stuff will come up. So go and check that stuff out. You won't be disappointed. We're going to provide you with some great football content. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. This is JDW. This is Jason. This is Jay. Jazzy J. I kind of like that nickname. Kind of just like a nickname that has come up at work somehow, some way. I'll share that story another time, but appreciate you guys. It's JDW, Jason, Jay, whatever you want to call me. I'm tuning out.